Hi everyone, this is Jeremy Schachter with Fairway Independent Mortgage. Today I'm really excited to introduce you to a wills and trust attorney. Her name is Libby Banks with the offices of Libby Banks, and I wanted to talk to her about why it's important to have a trust, a will, and how to protect yourself. So, hi Libby.
Hi Jeremy, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Very good.
Yes, thank you to come on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. So I think I really want to have you on the show because people who purchase homes, it's usually the biggest investment that they decide to do. And I feel like a lot of people think that you need to have a trust if you have a lot of money. You have like a big estate, like Bill Gates or so. And I wanted to kind of like break down the myths quickly about why it's important to have a trust, what's the difference between having a trust and how you're vested right now in your house, and how you can protect yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you.
In 3 minutes or less. No, I was kidding.
Right. Well, exactly. You're exactly right. You don't have to have a lot of money to need an estate plan. Every homeowner should have some kind of a plan in place. I'm a big fan of the living trust.
Okay.
When we do a trust, we actually retitle the property to you as owner of the house as trustee of the trust.
Okay.
So what that does is it means that you still have control as trustee of your trust over your property, but if somebody else needs to step in for you, that person then steps in as trustee.
Is that why it's called living? Because it
Yes.
lives and breathes?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So for let's say you're incapacitated,
Right.
that makes sure that somebody else can step in to keep the lights on that house, keep the mortgage paid, take care of things, sell it if we need to because you're not coming back to the house.
Okay.
So all of those are really important things, and that's why you're living, to make sure that we're taking care of things.
Okay.
Even if you're married,
Sure.
it's important to have that because, if you travel with your spouse,
Right.
you might end up with both of you in that car crash or airplane,
Right.
and somebody else needs to step in to take care of things.
Because like a common vesting is joint tenants with rights of survivorship.
Correct.
So correct me if I'm wrong, because you're the attorney, I'm not. Like if we were married and we had that vesting, if anything happened to me, it goes to you, and if anything that happens to you goes to me, and usually avoids probate. But if I wanted to give a certain portion of my assets to, say, my dog Gracie, because I love her so much,
Yes.
and something happened to me, my other person on the title might not follow those wishes.
Correct.
So
Exactly.
that's kind of like a nutshell, like having a detailed estate of how you want to distribute your assets if something ever happened to you.
Exactly.
Okay.
So with the trust, you really can't control what assets go where.
Okay.
So you may want your spouse to have that house,
Right.
but then you have other things that you want to leave for your dog Gracie or your cat Meow Meow, whoever.
Sure.
You want to make sure that those things happen.
Okay.
The other thing is, so for people who have kids from a prior marriage, they may want to make sure that whatever's left at the end of their spouse's life goes to their children. So
Gotcha.
they may want to take care of that spouse for their lifetime, but at the end, make sure that what's left over goes to the people that they want it to.
Gotcha. Okay. Perfect. And then I always like to end on something funny. So do you have like a tidbit or something crazy you read from? I know confidentiality is super important for
Sure.
attorneys, so you can't like be in so much detail, but have a good story of like a trust or something that some oddball.
So
Yeah.
it's funny that you mentioned pets in your trust, because we actually do pet trusts.
Oh, you do?
And,
Okay.
some pets are really long-lived, so we've done trusts to take care of tortoises before.
Wow.
Obviously for horses and that sort of thing. So,
Right.
so probably the funniest was a lizard, a pet lizard. So yes.
So they gave the lizard to a friend and then
And
allocated
gave money. Yes, exactly.
for their care.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yes.
interesting.
So, just to make sure, there's plenty of money if somebody's going to take on that, especially the long-lived creatures,
Right.
Tortoises, parrots, sometimes, making sure that there's money for whoever's going to take them, and maybe the next person in line too.
Okay.
So.
And then one last thing, for a trust, you can put like your home in a trust, your assets in a trust, cars, like if
Yes.
you own them free and clear, anything else that usually you put in a trust besides your house and automobiles and assets?
Well, one thing is if you own a business,
Okay.
so for real estate, you know, if you own an LLC that owns a rental property or several rental properties, you want to make sure that you as trustee own the LLC.
Okay.
And that again makes sure that that next trustee in line can manage the business, sell it, deal with anything that might come up.
And when you left this fine earth, like,
Yes,
gotcha. So your
exactly.
wishes are
Exactly.
maintained.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, thank you, Libby.
All right,
It's
thank
always
you.
such
I
a pleasure
appreciate
talking
it.
to you. You're
All
definitely
right.
an expert in this
Yes.
field, and I really appreciate you taking
All
the time.
right. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care.